It was when I was sitting in the non-zone waiting for Lynn to pick me up. She met me in the bottom of the hill.
Alrighty, so we're officially calling to order the monthly meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Whiting Library for Tuesday, May 13th. Before we approve the minutes, are there any additions to the agenda?
Not for me.
Alrighty, did everybody use the minutes from Donna and have a chance to look at them? Yeah.
Nice one.
Okay.
Remember when, but I did.
If everybody had a chance, I think we just need a motion on the floor to.
So moved.
Any seconds? Thanks, thank you have to. Good time. Awesome, are there any edits to the meeting minutes? Okie dokie, in that case,
I must have spelled everybody's name right.
All in favor of voting to approve the minutes from the April 8th meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Your nays, great. Those are approved. We're still waiting on Laura. We think she's coming since she sent the report with no note that she wouldn't be here. So maybe we just need to skip ahead to the youth report again.
Right.
Awesome,
Yeah.
I think.
So it's good to keep in mind she has twins.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
so.
no, oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
So we got Carrie's report from Gail on Sunday. Was there anything that Carrie wanted to add, Gail?
No, she didn't mention anything. I know that she really encouraging families to come to the family concert. That's this Saturday. I mean,
Okay.
It's on my calendar.
good.
Jill, do we have a different login for the Wi-Fi here?
Yes, we do. It's Whiting Library
Whiting Library, what?
new.
New?
Okay, and that's open, so it doesn't need a,
But we do have one now that has a password.
saw that.
To sometime, yeah.
Oh, great. Thanks, Matt. I didn't realize I was down to like one little bar and it was struggling.
Well, I was not loading,
Oh,
so.
okay. Awesome.
Come back. There's still some tweaks.
Great. And I think we decided we don't have to vote on the youth services part, right?
Correct.
Right.
Just have to,
Okay.
right.
Awesome. So we will scoot right along to the director's report.
What's the? I didn't know we had.
There's no password.
Okay.
All right. So that's good news on the MLS funding.
Good news.
Yeah, I know it's
Good
like
news.
50% is what's been
And
given.
now they think they'll get 100.
Oh, good.
But the thing to be
2026.
aware of, it's not in the budget for 2026. So if you still want to advocate with, our officials.
Yeah.
Because even though we don't get direct support from that, it's really important in libraries to have that.
Yeah. Awesome. Was there anything in particular you wanted to know? I know that there's some talk about, we need to figure out policy stuff.
Policies, the issue, I don't know whether you guys met, but did you meet? Would you have a recommendation for the holidays?
We came up with one, didn't we?
Okay. What you came up with wasn't enough.
I thought you were going to write a policy and send it to
I
them for
did.
edits, right? Was
I
that?
did.
Okay.
No. I thought that.
Yeah, we sat down and we went over it.
We did.
It was one of the three we went over,
Right.
and it's not one that you've seen that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, what the issue is, and I don't know, I'm not seeing the policy. I don't think all that we came back, as far as all that got recorded in the minutes was the days that we're gonna be closed. And that we are going to give Monday holidays, but it's not so much, that's not enough. We need
No, yeah.
the thing, what I need to be able to go forward. It's probably not even Mondays. I can deal with Mondays. It's Thursdays. It's how much to give people because they don't work on Mondays.
Right.
So you normally a holiday, you would give what they normally work.
Right.
But Mondays isn't the issue because nobody works on Mondays.
Right.
We could give the day, maybe the hours they work on Tuesday or the next day or just but Thursday is going to be a problem because
We've got two different versions that we need to decide which one.
That's what I said. I thought that's what we,
Good.
okay. That's what I thought we had said is cause we said, okay.
Because
we
I
were
sent
gonna
the two
have
versions
everything.
on April 19th.
Right, and we were gonna have the board vote, cause one was either paying that week,
It's either
getting paid for that
paid
day,
or a floating
giving-
holiday.
Or a floating holiday, yeah, or a floating holiday.
Yeah,
It's that simple. It's paid
No, it's
or a
not.
floating holiday.
simple, because how much do you pay them? How many hours do you pay them for? How many hours?
Standard hours that they work on a day.
The same number of hours.
Exactly.
I think that Gail is saying that there are employees here who do not work Thursdays, who in the policy, the way it was written initially, wouldn't receive any money on for Thanksgiving. And this policy is saying that like the library's closed, you get some kind of floating holiday or you get pay, but they don't know, like,
It's slight tweaks to the policy that Gail wrote and sent to us.
Because
Yeah.
it's a little bit tweakier, a little bit, the issue with that then is, if you say you give that holiday to the
Yeah.
employee who doesn't work on Thursday, they get the regular hours plus.
right,
The employees that work on Thursday get off, but only the regular hours.
right.
So that's greatly unfair.
Right, well, that's where we would have to say,
You have to deal
But
with
isn't
that.
Thanksgiving a paid holiday?
Not everybody works
Correct.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but everybody gets Thanksgiving off.
Yeah, but does one employee get an extra
it's getting
eight
an
point
extra.
five hours that day that she never would get? Nobody was gonna wanna work Thursday ever.
I don't understand. I mean, at my old job, you worked the day after Thanksgiving. You got Thanksgiving off. You worked the day after Thanksgiving.
But people probably all work on Thursday.
Well,
If
yeah,
it wasn't a holiday,
Yeah.
right, so
Yeah.
what she's saying is
Yeah, 'cause-
someone doesn't
yeah.
normally work
Right.
on Thursday, so why were we gonna pay her for that holiday if she doesn't normally work on a Thursday?
But you could, and I think it's fine, but we just have to pay them. But we just have to figure out how to be really equitable so
Right.
that nobody can say that's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the most important thing about policies. There's other issues, but that's the most important thing about policy. And anybody else have any questions about the whole report that I wrote? Because I'd like to apply for some facility grants at some time. Not able to do it now because it comes too soon. But we need to be ready
Right,
when they come up. So that's why I would
Right.
like to work with the town to
Yeah.
have some quotes and things and priorities, things like that on hand.
Marilyn won't be making it.
Yeah.
okay, so should we? How do we come up with how to be equitable? On a Thursday holiday?
Should we save that for the policy?
Yeah, I think
discussion?
that's a
Yeah,
separate
okay, yeah,
section.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say wait,
Good.
Yeah.
wait until the agenda item comes up. Come on.
Okay, so you're gonna be working with the town to
Mhm,
figure out
mhm.
scheduling the quotes
Mhm.
for.
I would
facility
like
grants.
to, and
Great.
they did say, and I hope you noticed that we don't know yet when the construction's gonna happen down here with the pipes and things.
Right, right,
But I didn't get a grant for the lights, but they told me they think they have enough money for the lights.
The
So
town?
so don't really worry about it.
Awesome, that is, and thanks for putting those stats together again. Great, so that's the director's report. Fundraising report, I contacted Red House Press, I think that's what they're called, printing, whatever, you get it.
Red House,
Yeah,
Yeah. Red Barn,
yes, the red building in Springfield,
yeah,
they're gonna be
On the
running, envelopes and remittance envelopes for us so that we can do our printing in-house. I sent out a draft of the letter. I would love your, feedback. General feedback as well as specific grammar weirdness that could have been missed. Because like, once you look at something long enough, oh, there's.
no, actually, I read it a second time and I went. "You missed-"
Yeah,
just join.
oh, hi,
Laura,
Laura. I have versions, 2 versions. For you guys to look at, it's the same text, it's just one has the trustees on the side, the way we did in the June letter. And the other one, doesn't, the way we did in the December letter, and Donna, or Laura, I can email those to you now, since you're joining us.
Sounds good.
So there,
It-
research or anything, or any.
Margins, the literal difference.
Yeah, this is the only change, if you wanna see it close. I think the only real benefit, well, there's two benefits. Name recognition along the side. These are repeat donors. They may be familiar with, some of the trustees. So that's ideal. Also, it lists our Thursday hours, which are new, so it does kind of offer something in that regard.
Mhm.
So I would be kind of fine with either. Quite frankly, I think I prefer the one with the margin. I think I might scoot it over a little more because it looks a little far.
Yeah,
So this
that
one,
looks neat.
yeah, I think that's nice. And I think that,
And it's nice to have the hours.
yeah, and it, you know, it still like fits, the body of it fits quite nicely in this little chunk that we have remaining.
Do you have contact information? Can you add the website too?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go back. My pen doesn't work up.
Info at.
That's what email address. It's good to have that, but I mean, a lot of people could probably figure it out.
I think probably, but you know, never make it
Some
too,
people can figure it out.
never make it too easy, right? How do you all feel about the content and tone of the letter?
High spirits, mine are kind of down.
That's a fine line to walk between, like, give us money, we need help, and
Yeah,
like, why should I give you money if you're not doing well?
And you know, that
Tightrope.
ability, if there are any funding changes, we didn't,
Yeah.
we weren't
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
And it was, who might change funding?
Right.
Like, there might be funding changes, so.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Looks fun to me.
You know, you could, couple things, I
Yeah.
would say, I mean, instead of foster education, I think it'd be better to say learning,
Okay,
because what we do here is really
Yeah.
education. And, you know, if you wanted to be, one thing Matt was talking, you could say programs that you love, or something like that, so that kind of implies that with their funding, we will be able to continue.
wonderful. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Foster creativity. Curiosity.
Mhm.
Oh, better words than education.
Yeah, great.
What's the lightsaber?
I know, that's what I'm like. Is that-
I was like, if there's kids in there.
Might be.
Or
It's not
romantic
there's some, I'm just wondering where it's
I
coming
know, that's why
from.
I like move myself, and I'm like, is that like
If
my
Laura
cell phone?
vanishes, we know what happened.
And I think, Donna and Marilyn and I were talking about, it would be really, really nice if there were some type of like, trifold about summer programming, if you're able to whip one up. And
Yeah, and we probably will be, but when? Like
Yeah.
Next week?
no, I think that we would probably send this mid-June,
Mhm.
so you'd have a month
Yeah,
to
sure.
like nail it down.
We
for
would
sure.
definitely do a trifold, because, I
Yeah.
mean, we would do a flyer, I can make sure it's a trifold.
Yeah, 'cause that's,
Yeah, something that would like,
Fit in
yeah,
there.
they could, you know, so they could see upcoming things.
yeah, and these
Yeah,
are,
last I knew, Word had a trifold.
Yeah,
oh, you've got
Yeah.
that great
Yeah.
software.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're used that, they have a trifold, but I mean, I think maybe last year I used. I mean, it's just a little bit easier for the fold, it's only have one fold instead of three, but
For sure.
we could do a trifold.
Yeah, because my plan would be to get that from you and then bring packets for everyone to the June meeting to do at home and then bring back on like a Saturday, and then we take them to the town for mailing the following Monday or something. You know, just like a pretty tight turnaround, 'cause it shouldn't be that many each. And I think I have labels that I will donate to the library. We can just print the labels.
Might have some labels.
Yeah, if you don't, I got like.
I think I had.
Yeah.
Before me, but I think.
Yeah, I think we bought a bunch.
But,
Yeah.
and we don't really use them for things.
Yeah, cause that's,
Okay.
we were gonna use them for,
Awesome.
for mailing.
So my next steps will be, the list, the donor list, address cleanup, and I'll get the label size from you so that I can make a mail merge for you to print. And I'll look for a trifold or half fold or program, whatever. And if anybody has any, if anybody notices any weird grammar stuff, please send it to me in the next week or two.
You should put a semicolon in there somewhere.
Yeah, let's find a place for a semicolon. Those are so fun. Okay.
That way it's not truly a run-on sentence.
Awesome.
I don't see any sentences, but.
I didn't either.
I don't know. I feel like. a lot
I'm
of
saying
time
fun
went-
with semicolons.
Yeah, they are fun.
No, no, who was the guy, John, who was a tech writer? And his whatever
He
comma,
hated semicolons.
well, no, and the something comma
Oh, the Oxford comma.
Yes, and I am a firm believer in the Oxford comma.
It helps the reader.
I know, I know.
Awesome. Do we need to vote on this letter? I assume we probably
I
do.
don't see why we would.
Okay,
Yeah.
then great. All right, then that wraps up my report unless anybody has any questions. Hearing none, we're gonna jump back to the treasurer's report from Laura. Thank you for sending that to us.
Mhm.
Anything?
Oh, you do that? Oh, yeah, it's a lot easier for me to see.
Did you have anything you wanted to speak on in particular? I know that you got the recording from Lori sorted out, and then there's some talk about maybe moving the meeting based on the availability of reports.
Yeah, so we had a meeting with Lori and Julie. Gail also attended the meeting, and the thing that the quarterly check that we are receiving for our wealth management account, they explained to us that the money goes directly to our due to and from account. And so I asked them if they could just make a little note within the report when a check comes in. So she said that she would put in some kind of an asterisk to include the amount that we will be getting when it comes through. I didn't see it in this report, but I think I have to check with her. I would have liked to see it in every report. So sort of like a carryover from the previous quarter, and then, so I'm going to check on that because I looked everywhere in the report. I didn't see it. Did you see it, Gail? I don't know if
No,
you.
there's something down here on the very bottom. I mean, I think sometimes she told things differently than what she tells us she's going to. Down at the bottom, there's library other income expense, library other income dividends.
This is
1,078 actual. It's in the actual. So that was received this year.
I thought that
This is,
I thought that's what she gets from the statements that we received. These are not actual income. That's for the operating budget. Only the
That's
quarterly
okay.
checkers.
Okay, I thought that maybe, okay, I know that you told us that, but I thought that didn't go on here at all, but okay.
So she, under other, she recorded what she reads off the statements that we
Yeah.
make. These are unrealized gains and losses and
Yeah,
dividends,
but I
I
didn't
believe.
see them. Yeah.
That's because we asked her if she can move that since the income is not part of our operating budget. And she agreed that she would move it out from the regular income column and move it somewhere else as other. So that was one thing that she did. And then the other one was I asked her if she could make a little note letting us know how much the checks are that we are receiving, the quarterly checks. So I'm going to follow up on that because I did not see that little note that she said she would make. Then the other question that she had to do with providing me the reports in a timely manner. So she said that she is very busy during the time of the months when I request them. And she asked if she could give me not the most current months, but the previous months. And I said I would ask the board about that, what the feeling on that is. I was feeling a little ambivalent about it, but that's my personal feeling. I didn't say anything during the meeting. I just tried to listen to her. She said that she gets very busy because also of the select board. And the other question was, do we want to move the meeting to a different week within the months that would give her more time? That would be another option. So thought I'd put that in my report and ask the board how the board feels about it.
so we either get the report a month behind,
Mm-hmm.
or we move our meeting time to the third week rather than the second, to third Tuesday rather than the second Tuesday.
Laura, is it better for you to have it not be last month's information.
Well, I would actually prefer getting the most updated report to see more in real time what's going on, than being a month behind. And I'm struggling with, I don't know how to put it. I don't
I mean,
like, go ahead, sorry.
no, I agree with you. I'd rather have the most up to date. It's from the close of business for the month before, it's a full week to 2 weeks
Mhm.
until, and you need it, what? 2, 3 days before we meet?
Yes, I usually, I mean, I have explained to her that we meet on the second Tuesday of every month. And I always have to remind her because it doesn't come automatically from her. So I remind her usually on Thursday or Friday before we meet so that I have at least a weekend to work on the report. Sometimes I don't receive it until Monday or even Tuesday, depending on how busy she is or if she's in the office or not. I'm not sure. Her schedule is a little bit unclear to me. I don't believe she works 5 days a week in the office. I think she works longer hours, but only 4 days. That's what I understood when we first
I
communicated.
mean, to my mind, and I could be wrong, but the select board probably wants month-end reports on their first meeting of the month, which is the first Wednesday of the month.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, Julie said there are other I mean, maybe it's the fire department who is, it's like us that aren't, they're not a town department, they're municipal, but not us.
They're technically a town department. Julie's their boss.
She said they were, but, she said they, but anyway, somebody gets reports a month late. And it's not, I don't know, she didn't actually say exactly what keeps her busy. But I think, say like the board, select board meets the first and the third Wednesday.
Mhm.
And that's when they do the warrants. And then they have to write the checks after that. So like, I think she's busy between the writing checks for the whole town, us included. That time between after the first Wednesday and the second Tuesday, I think.
And I think the other one is HR related. She does the HR work too for the entire town, like the
I
timesheet.
didn't realize they'd thrown that on top of the financial
I
stuff.
was gonna say,
And they're.
yeah, except I asked her HR question and she didn't know,
Yeah,
have an answer. So
Plus, they're working the summer hours where the town office will be closed on Fridays, right?
they're closed on Fridays,
but that big work.
but they're only having, in the summer, they're only having, select board meetings once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're-
And that's third Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, they're closed, but I think they're open.
Gotcha.
I mean, they're in there working, but they must not be enough staff to feel like they could keep it.
So, Laura, would it be your preference that we try to move to the third Tuesday of the month? In that case, like if we want to get more up-to-date information versus keeping our meeting time?
I actually don't know the reasoning why we are meeting on the second. I didn't know if it has to do with the select board, like being at the same
No, I
time.
think.
No, it was
It was
because
like-
when we first sat down, it was, when's good for everybody?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it.
That's how it
could
dealt
change
out.
it. I mean, if people don't have a problem with doing the third Tuesday. And if that's gonna get us, cause I think it's important to have the reports for the previous month, because if there's a problem, you don't wanna see it a month later.
Right.
Yeah, it's especially relevant near the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Trying to wrap up like
Right,
fundraising
Definitely the end
and
of the
stuff.
year, or like
And
spending
it
money.
shows some goodwill too that we're
Yeah.
willing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if she
Yeah.
still can't do it, then there's a problem.
I
mean, that's the most mind-boggling part
Yeah.
to me, period, because it takes 30 seconds to put in a calendar entry that says, get library reports to Laura on the Friday before we meet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right,
It was never an issue with the previous person,
right.
but
So-
it's, for some reason, it's become an issue.
Yeah, well, and it's like the reality we're living in, so I think we just have to adapt to that
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I would, if we're interested in doing that, we'll need to take it to a vote.
Right. Okay. I'll make a motion
Yeah.
that we change, starting in June, our meeting to the third Tuesday of the
Okay.
month rather than the second Tuesday of the month.
And just to clarify, still starting at
Still
6:30.
Yeah, still starting at
Mhm.
6:30.
Okay, I will second.
Right, any discussion? Kind of had it already, but.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor of moving our standing meetings to the third Tuesday of the month at 6:30 PM starting in June, say aye.
Aye.
Not hearing any nays, but,
Now I need to change my account.
yeah, I know, me
Yeah.
too. On that note, because of how that will push our fundraising letter, what I'll probably do is make the packets, have you all pick them up from the library and bring them at the June meeting so we can get those out the door that week. Awesome.
Oh, I needed to update it anyway.
Anything else, Laura, that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm assuming you guys read my report, right?
Yeah,
How is the fund doing with the market being so crazy?
From what I saw, we only lost like $2,000. So it wasn't that bad. I expected worse,
Yeah.
but I think it's so diversified what we have, so I don't think it affected it as much.
Awesome. Anybody else have questions? All right, great. So we will call it wrapped up and then we'll get back to our agenda with the policy committee report. And I know that's gonna be some discussion.
I have to go back and look at.
Google will remind me.
All right. For some reason, I don't know where I put the policy,
Which one?
well, the one that we,
Well, there were
That
three
we
we went over
submit.
and agreed with.
right, and then we were gonna submit, we were just gonna ask the board
Yeah.
whether they thought we should do the.
Yeah, so scroll to April 19th for a letter from me.
Okay.
Entitled Updated Versions of Holiday Policy.
Um. So, but we still also have to, okay. Okay, we. Well, this must be the one that Gail wrote.
Yeah, so those are both modified versions due to what we talked about,
Right,
based off of Gail's rewritten policy.
right.
Would somebody want to read them?
I'm trying to see if I can connect to the printer so I can actually
You
print
should
out.
be able to connect to the printer there. It's a Coursera, KYOZ. If you're on the library, you need to be able to see it.
Yep. Here it is. Cause here it has
Yep.
Kalfa.
It's in the Susie four-lay room.
Is now ready. This will, what I am printing shows the markups for what was changed. So it's going to be a little longer. Just so you are aware, and I will tell it to give us 5 copies. Donna, will you have that email up?
Yes, I
Could
do.
you send it to Laura?
All right. Forward. Include attachments.
Then you can go with, no, I need the other one now, thank you.
Okay, I just forwarded to you, Laura. I'll run up to the printer.
Should be good.
Should be good.
I'm looking.
Trip over my magic card.
Trip over your bag, trip over your bag.
One thing we did talk about is the addition of that gate behind you and how much of a game changer it is.
Oh, yeah, it must be great when they have
So
a
good.
story time. I was here one day and there was just kids everywhere.
Yeah, it's a popular place.
Yeah, but it contains them.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's a tiny room.
Yeah, the
It's nice though that it's wide.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the only one that is wide like that and also has that I'm aware of, that has that wheelchair ramp on, so that it's accessible.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Tuesdays have been very popular recently. Last week was a zoo. No, it was intense.
How was Saturday's movie?
Oh, it was granted about 40 people.
Nice.
It's 15 people.
I almost came in, but I was too tired.
Yeah, I was there till 11. I was pretty tired.
Oh,
I heard the little kitchen's a great hit.
Yeah.
it's a huge thing.
I think this today I brought that table down. I think that table really extends the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. That was
It's the
great.
kitchen.
Yeah. They can set the table.
To talk, there's a lot of opportunities for talking,
Exactly.
play acting there.
Mm.
We were gonna buy a table, but we couldn't just, we want a low one.
Yeah, that's-
I want to, like for 2, 3, 4-year-olds, and we just couldn't find one we really liked yet. So,
Yeah, you'd almost have to go on like Montessori furniture websites or something.
yeah, but we were too tall. I mean, really, I mean, there are some, it was looking,
I know. Oh, all the little kids who come here are like 2. So,
But and the thing is about Montessori.
Yeah.
And those little things, actually, they did seated work. So
yeah,
when they're that little, they're not even out there.
I know.
Yeah. What's that?
Nothing on the printer.
No?
Did you look in the Sissy Forley room?
That's the only printer, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that sometimes,
Well, the top tray didn't have paper in it, but it had paper in the other trays.
it should go from one to the
That's what I
other.
thought. I didn't.
And it should tell you whether, if,
It says it's ready.
sometimes, with my computer,
Okay, it's the Task Alpha 5551 CI, correct?
I'm gonna check and see what mine says. The one, no, it's like 2.5.
2553?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know what the other one is.
that is probably what happened then.
I'll turn them on.
Okay. Now I forget what your light up in the stairway and the town doesn't like, when I leave it. Because, I mean, like,
You should be on motion sensor.
well, that stairway one, you might not do that. I mean, you might. I've seen them,
Nobody's on this.
but sometimes they go out, sometimes they go off in the middle of the stair if you're not moving with
There's a
that.
setting you can see.
I know, but you should never know. But we don't have any motion sensors anyplace in the library. My other library, they had them everywhere, like in offices, everywhere. Here they decided that the biggest energy saver will be the LED lights, instead of the motion sensor, and they would make that big thing.
Are they just gonna change the bulbs? Is that
That'd be-
LEDs?
They told me they're gonna be like the round, like.
So they're not gonna keep these?
No, I don't think so.
God, that would be the most efficient.
Well, they told me they're gonna be. I think.
So they
I
gotta
heard
change
him
the
say-
ceiling tiles.
Yeah, I think I heard him say, they're gonna be like what the town had, what did they have it in there? You know,
Mm-mm.
I think he said they were round, I did, when I was there, I didn't know that you were. That correct. It's expensive, the quote was like $13,000.
Oh my God, we could just go to Home Depot and get the bulbs.
Yeah.
A case of bulbs, change them
They're
out to
gonna pay
LED.
them. They're gonna do it, I mean, it was like $13,000. I was a little
Please,
surprised it was
it's
that much
unbelievable.
for. It
Oh
too.
my God.
Dedicated systems last longer.
You just take the ballasts, disconnect the ballast, put the LED bulbs in these, and you've got no damage to the ceiling.
Well,
no-
they are ugly in here though.
Well, it's,
Room, it's a public, I mean, like the kids and stuff, I mean, it's nice lights, nice clean lights will make a difference.
the ceiling's gonna be coming down anyway.
Oh, you take from the ceiling down too?
Yes, it's part of the grant and all the stuff that they're gonna be doing that's renovating the entire downstairs. We're just scheduling it so that that upgrade happens at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah,
But because they're doing the sprinkler upgrade,
Still not working.
well, not working, it might need to move the,
I checked the job status thing and the last thing that was printed was from you. At 17.
well, I can go put more paper in there and just in case, but
Well,
Can you save it as a PDF and give it to Gail to print if she's able to print?
I was about to say, let me just forward it to you, Gail, and
okay,
that way don't have to play with it anymore, cause. So I'm sending it to the director, you
okay.
know,
And then I think what I'll do is take my computer up and just, because sometimes it does do better when.
it's
you-
persnickety.
But I haven't gotten it yet.
I just sent it, it'll probably take a second or two. It's going through Gmail. Oh, but that's right, since I sent it to that, that ought to mean Bluehost. I will send a copy to your Comcast as well.
Okay, that would be easier, we'll find out. Let me get one here.
So when is the sprinkler gonna be done?
They don't know. I haven't.
It's not scheduled yet,
That's-
sometime between summer and fall.
So they got a grant for that,
Mhm.
and that includes the lights.
Well, I did originally, but I don't know whether they're combining grants or what, but they think that they gave me the impression that I haven't gotten that yet either. And my computer does say it needs to be updated. I mean, you know, these things need to be installed.
well, we could talk about,
Yeah, would it be possible to,
Talk about
to
it.
share it with us three and maybe Lynn can pull up a chair and share my screen or something? Like,
oh yeah,
I can't
can
see
we
anyway
put it
because the
on?
screw
Can
just
we
fell
put
out
it
of my
on-
glasses.
oh
I'm like trying to see the screw and put it back in, and I'm
no.
like.
Yeah, just like in the interest of moving this forward because it's been.
If there's not a way we could put it up on the screen,
Yeah, we could do that.
plug it into,
Let me put
Can plug it into Matt's computer?
Let's see, where do they have the hose? Right there, maybe.
we could Matt, could we plug it into Matt's computer and?
Yeah, we could do that too. I can make Matt, no, Matt's not connected to here. I mean, he would have to,
He's-
he would have to,
To Jen.
Sign
It
in
went
to,
Oh.
it wouldn't work as well as,
Okay,
well, how do you do?
I just
that?
forwarded it to your Gmail,
Awesome.
Jesse. I don't feel like dealing with Bluehost delays tonight.
Oh, is there a long delay for that?
Sometimes there's no delay with its forwarding. Sometimes there can be a 2-3 day delay with its forwarding.
So Laura, you should be able to share the screen if, you want, because I made you a co-host, so you should be able to share the screen.
Oh, I still don't have it from you either. There might be something going on.
Okay, so you want me to share the screen?
yeah, but she
Um,
only has the ones that were sent out on the 19th, that doesn't have your edits, right?
No, those are the edits.
Okay,
Which version do you want me to share? Which version do you?
Let's start with the paid time off version.
I have version 1 and 2, it says.
Let's start with version 2.
Okay, just a moment.
So version 2 is essentially, they get paid.
This one here. Can you see it?
Mhm.
Yep,
Thank you.
Yep, no time off. It is a paid, they just get paid for the holiday.
in the same week, right?
So if
The
you
same pay
work,
period.
I believe so.
Whoops. Uh-oh, hold on. I have no battery. I need to go and get my.
Listen to these meetings, like from the public.
So the holiday,
No floating holiday.
yeah, so
It's
when
not
one of
no
the
time
above
off.
holidays falls on a day which a Whiting Library is regularly scheduled to work, staff shall be paid for the holiday at the regular rate of pay, an amount equal to the number of hours the staff member is regularly paid for on that workday.
okay, what's the second one?
So what was it, now, if a holiday falls on a day when Whiting Library is scheduled to be open, but an employee is not regularly scheduled to work on that day, the employee shall receive pay for the holiday at the regular rate and hours. That's our discussion.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah,
Right.
so what was the net?
Oh, that's not,
Schedule.
why is that not showing the red? Huh. I don't know, it's not important.
Yeah, what's the other one?
I walked away from our discussion thinking that we were doing a floating holiday schedule because the concern
That
from
is version
the
1.
the
That
feedback was.
Yeah, that's what the person.
Yeah. The feedback from the staff was the lack of flexibility is a bummer and taking away a holiday is worse.
Yeah, but you're
Like taking away a
about
day off.
Mondays.
Yes, we are, and we will get to
Because-
Thursdays, but
No, I don't mean that.
yeah,
I mean, like, the majority of holidays are days that you wouldn't want to take a different day than the holiday because we're closed that day. And you have to take the holiday the day that we're closed. You have to, but then you wouldn't be getting paid for the day that we're
Right.
closed, so. Yeah. Cause,
but my understanding of this policy that we're discussing is that they would have more physical time in the library because there'd be no Tuesday closure.
yeah, we already decided.
Actually,
Right, yeah.
Laura's is not showing the changes.
Is there something
Because
I have to click on?
the words Eve should be showing up after Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they are not.
Yeah, I think there's something going on with the way your computer.
Can
I
you
just got.
set your Word to show revisions? Or is
I-
it being funky because it's opening in it's open in a browser?
That's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's
I
Eve.
finally got it.
Yeah, I just got mine.
Did you
Yeah,
get it?
and I'm saying
When,
I added Eve twice in there.
I can go make a copy. I just got it.
Oh, great. Thank you.
okay, yeah.
But the thing to me that I really struggle with about this, and maybe the version 2 will take care of this.
This one is version 2.
Okay, I will, you have to read it. I mean, version 1, the other version. It's the thing with Thursdays. Mondays are simple because nobody works on Mondays. If it's this version, and we're talking about Thursday, one employee gets extra money. One employee doesn't.
Well, let's stop right there.
Yeah,
Let's print out what's actually
Yeah.
written as
No, I-
opposed to what Laura's showing.
but that's what it said, because it says that,
But that's not showing the changes that were made, is
okay,
what I just said.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to change that. I'm on a Chromebook. I don't know if it's because of
Anyway, I
that.
got,
Yeah, and you're opening it in a browser where I open it in actual Word, so I can show.
Oh. I see.
So my documents actually show the updates.
Okay.
But
I don't know if I can log into Word maybe and
Someone
open it.
doesn't normally work. Then why would we pay people holiday pay? If it's a day the library's open and the library's closed, but you don't work, why would you do that? And
How many Thursday holidays are there? Was it just
it
Thanksgiving?
varies. I mean, it varies, you know.
Well,
So-
let me look. She,
Actually, she wrote at the
she
bottom.
spent two pages writing them out.
So Thanksgiving Day, well,
So for 2025, there are 3. For 2026, there are 2.
Right.
For 2027, there are 2. For 2028, there are 1.
I mean, we're making like,
well, the thing is so,
is this some kind of like just internal personal nastiness going on?
no,
that
but
we're
it's,
trying to
it's like,
I honestly think it's just overthinking.
yeah. But if you don't normally work that, well, it's hard because like the Mondays, normally they don't work, but they're gonna get paid for those, or they're gonna get those days.
But you're most.
But if it's federal holiday on a Thursday and someone doesn't work on a Thursday, but others do, then should that one person be paid? That, so they're getting paid extra. That's hard to,
Was trouble. Tuesdays.
huh?
Yeah.
That's a problem when we work, I know. We were on Thursday. Well, maybe-
It's a nice problem we manufactured for ourselves.
Or maybe we just say, because the Monday holidays, nobody works on the Monday.
Here it is. I got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So the ones that have the red strike through was the original text. The red text is the changes that were made.
It doesn't have the red, but it does have the crossouts and the.
Yeah, so the crossouts were original. The stuff that's following after.
And by original, you mean the policy that Gail
Yes.
created?
Right.
Yes.
Yep, Gale stock.
Okay.
It was just an idea, but even since then, I've thought more about it.
Okay.
So the policy itself is just the first page. Everything else was explanations and
Right,
tablets for tabulations for when days off are.
right. So it's really just
Okay.
through, yeah.
And we're discussing version 2 technically.
Yeah, I don't see how you tell them apart. I mean, I guess.
Well, without printing file names, so. Yeah,
The one
hold
with
on,
no
give me a
changes to
second.
number 4 is version
So
2.
version 1 has no changes to step 4.
Version 1.
Version 2 has changes to step 4.
Okay, so like the first one, the one on the top, the one that had no changes to step 4, that is the one. This version, I see 1 employee on Thursdays. That's the only day we really need to talk about.
Right,
1 employee gets an extra 8.5 hours that week. They never work Thursday. They're gonna get this holiday. And they're gonna get one employee doesn't get any extra money.
Right.
Does get their regular time, but no extra money. That seems unfair to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I thought, and it just came to me. But it doesn't always work, but at least one thing we could do, let's give the holiday like that, it's set for the Thursday. But on that week, offer that employee the chance to work on another day or make those hours up that pay period. So they are getting the extra, just like one employee does.
So the person who works on Thursday
She would work on Tuesday probably, because she doesn't work on Tuesdays.
Okay,
That particular week, she might work on Tuesday, if she could.
okay,
But if we could at least offer her that. So then she's getting for that week, her regular hours, the days off, her regular hours, plus the extra money for the Thursday that the other employee's getting. I mean, I don't know what else to think.
well, the thing to be fair is if you don't work on that day, then you don't get paid for that.
That is fair, but it's, the reason it's not fair now is because we've been doing it for one employee for 5 years. And so that she won't see that. I mean, you can decide it's still fair,
Yeah,
but
well, like,
she's not gonna say it.
It will be perceived as, in the past, I got Friday off because we were closed on Friday and I got paid for Friday and I had 2 days off in a row. And now I just get the one day that I'm used to getting off and I have to work the next day anyway and I get like the same amount of money, right?
Yeah.
So I can understand how someone put in that position would walk away feeling bad about that.
Yeah, but
I
you
mean-
know what? Sometimes you just gotta like, here's how things change.
Hey,
No.
you know, I guess I would be okay with that if you, the
Well, but
majority of you guys are okay with that, but it
Right.
doesn't seem like you guys
But
are.
now what's looking, how many hours are normally worked on a Thursday?
Well, I think it's like 7 hours. I mean, see, like,
Oh, I thought Thursdays were only open.
6 hours. 6 hours.
So six
Thursday,
and a half.
1, 2, 3,
Probably.
6.
Cause there's that half hour
Yeah, yeah.
overlap for open/close.
Yeah, but this is a new thing that we're open on
Yeah.
Thursdays. So the new thing could be, if you don't work on Thursdays and a holiday's on a Thursday, you don't get paid for it.
It could be,
Because
but
it's
they
new.
used to on Thursday before the new thing started,
Yes.
when nobody worked on Thursday. And we were not paying attention, the board didn't really,
Right,
what happened is people were getting paid for Thursday. Even though they didn't work on Thursday. when the
because it was a
on
holiday,
Thursday.
right. That sucks.
It is it's a mess. It definitely is.
Well, because, yeah, unless you, only pay that person who doesn't work for half a day.
Well, that's kind of like why I like version 1.
Yeah.
I gave a floating holiday.
Well, that's true.
Everybody gets a floating holiday.
That seems
Everybody
fair.
gets a floating holiday, but that person doesn't get paid to get the floating holiday. So like somebody, the other person,
Which means they get paid for a day they choose,
They
they don't
choose.
work.
They don't work and they get
yes,
it.
but it's not, but to me, this is what I think. The reason our country has holidays, started to have holidays, was so that you didn't have days that the place was closed and you could not come to work. And so then that means that it's a floating holiday. Okay, I get.
No, in other words, that's what they do now. They're like, that's where they're adding to their vacation time.
If we're
Yeah.
closed, that's fine, I get it,
Yeah.
but then. Okay,
Yeah, that seems to be the most fair, that
Yeah.
you're getting a floating holiday for Thanksgiving because it's a federal holiday. You know,
Yeah, everybody gets a
Everybody
floating
gets
holiday,
it.
so everybody gets a day's pay.
yeah,
but only one person is really a floating holiday, because they're off that day anyway. So like you said, but it does, there's only really one person that really cares about the floating holidays too, and so.
This is the problem with not having all employees working every day that we're open.
But if they wouldn't, I know,
Yeah.
that it's, any place wouldn't, but usually they're weekends or something, I mean. Not everybody on a library when you open weekends. You know, like, you guys are used to having Monday through Fridays, everybody works, but when, you know, you got weekends, you're open 6 days a week or
Mhm.
7 days a week. You don't have people working every day.
Now, I agree with Matt that I think all the holidays, they get a floating holiday, so they, they get however many
Yeah,
holidays
I
there
think
are.
floating holiday is the most equitable
And
solution.
they get to take it when they wanna take it. And yes,
So
it's
let's
not
make a
fair,
motion.
but
Okay,
they're
but-
getting the time.
okay, in this case. Okay, I can see how we can do that with one employee, because every day,
Right.
every weekday, they work the same number of hours, 8.5. But doesn't work Thursday. the other employee that works Thursday doesn't work the same number of hours every day. So when it's a Monday holiday, Thursday, I mean, that,
What's her average?
Is she a part-time employee?
Yeah.
Don't we need
So
to-
what is her average?
do that, you do want to do it that way, that's fine, but then we should write it in the policy.
Yeah.
And this is what I said, the average Monday to Friday time.
Right,
And I think you should say that then, and with one employee, the average, because you were the same, and obviously
Right.
the average is gonna be,
right.
but you should say that in the policy.
And
It
it's
does.
unchanged in
Good.
version one.
Good, and
Okay.
that's the one, okay, then
The one where 4 isn't touched,
and that's the
Each
one you like.
holiday is scheduled to be.
yes,
Okay,
that's the one with the floating holidays.
Well,
Then I think we should
Pay
do-
in accordance with the standard day's work in the paycheck. So you're saying or average,
Yeah,
or maybe we average,
Average work week divided by average number of days each employee works each week.
yeah, I got it,
okay, I see what you're
I
saying.
understand. And I think that, I mean,
So Kale works what, 24 hours a week?
let's work about 16,
16 now?
uh-huh,
Okay,
So-
and she normally works how many days?
she works
3 days, 4 days.
4 days,
Okay, 16 divided by 4, 4 hours.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so she gets 4 hours and,
It's easy math,
yeah,
as it's written in the policy that you wrote.
yeah, so that, yeah.
Well, no, but I think, all right, I don't understand, I'd have to look at the time card, because she like works, like we said, 6.
See, a lot of
I don't know
places,
how to figure
if
this
it's
out,
a
but this is
part-time
what it is.
employee,
Yeah,
they
there's
don't
no
get,
PTO.
I know.
yeah, you don't
I
get any, so
understand
that's
that.
kind of a happy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Ask
understand
the
that,
union person.
Yeah, that's fine.
but I think it's much more common these days to have that.
I've
No, it's-
never seen it.
No.
I have never seen
No,
that.
if you work part-time,
Yeah,
you don't, you don't get sick
No,
time as a
you don't.
part-timer.
no,
Isn't
you
there
don't
something
get,
from
You don't
Omaha?
get sick time.
no,
No, you don't get sick time if you're a part-timer. You don't get sick time if you're a temp worker.
Mhm.
If you aren't at the building working, you don't get paid.
That's not my experience as a part-time employee, but
Yeah.
like I'm a part-time employee, I get PTO and
It
pay
depends on
holiday.
how many hours a week though.
Yes, I mean, yeah, it's
I mean, if she's only, lots of times it ends, like
Yeah.
if it's only,
Yeah.
if it's under 20 hours or
Yeah.
something like that.
And-
Mind
Yeah.
you, I'm speaking from a retail and manufacturing experience.
Yeah.
And speaking of someone who works in a nonprofit, like Kale does on a part-time basis, the way my organization handles it is I make my own schedule, so my average day, it evens out to our 20 hours a week over 5 days, it's 4 hours for the holiday.
Yeah.
Normally, on a day like a Monday, I work 5 hours, so I take 4 hours of vacation and I work another hour a different time, so it all evens out. I think the average makes sense,
Yeah,
like, the average as the rule
yeah, yeah.
is fine.
Right.
And that would have been to like, where I worked before, your regular day was an average of every day, and that, we have not done that here. Because, I mean, it was like 7.6 hours a day, that's a weird number, that's what you took anytime. But that's not the way we've been doing it here, because like, the carry will take different for Saturday and different for a
Right.
weekday, so that's why I think we should keep them. Look at the average. for
Yeah,
the-
do the average, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay,
Do that.
that's fine with me.
So we're gonna do version 1, keeping the original language about
The floating.
1.4,
on point 4.
although it looks like oh no, I thought I was missing the one. One's there.
Do you wanna like redo that one and then send it to us?
Okay, cool.
Well, yeah, just,
Take out, just read through the whole thing without any, changes, you know? Oh, yeah, I guess
what do
it's
we
hard
think
to-
about the,
Hard to get rid of those changes.
I mean, most of the changes were phrasing
yeah,
That's fine.
or on step 6,
Yeah, it's.
basically codifying, giving you the latitude to close early on an eve. if
Yeah, I
you
think
want
that's
to.
fine.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Very good. And I think that it's good to say, because we got in so much trouble too about whether we're gonna, you do federal holidays, that's what this says, because like whatever day it was, there was some day when it's a a Friday, I think it was Veterans Day, they celebrated it on, I don't know. So
There was weird stuff,
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry, are we still hung up on number 3 though? Have we landed anywhere there?
Number 3 is the same in both of them.
If a
Right.
holiday falls on a day when is scheduled to be open, but an employee is not regularly scheduled to work, the employee shall receive. What did we just say? The floating holiday for their average number of.
Well, wait a minute, I think that they're actually saying the same thing, and
They
that
are.
might have been.
Yeah, so we really, maybe we don't
So
need,
number 3, it should be if a holiday falls on a day when the library is scheduled to be open and the employee is regularly scheduled to work. That's what it should say. No, it should, the number 3 should be.
Number 3, I think, was something you, me, and Marilyn had contention on,
right,
and
right,
you and Marilyn were in line with.
yeah.
But I think really what it should say, because it's really saying the same thing, I think what I should have written and given you, and I must have not, it should be saying when we're closed on a day. There you go.
Now, 3 is open and an employee is not scheduled.
I think it's open. And the employee not scheduled, okay?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, then they will receive a floating holiday based on their average.
Okay, number 3 are Thursdays. Because we are open those days and so this would be Thursday. So this would say on this option, maybe both of them, you said if they're the same, we have one of
Yeah,
them never
shall
get paid for
receive.
any holidays.
The
for
standard
Thursdays.
work day.
That's what this says.
Yeah, so that's,
So then you have one employee that doesn't get holidays on Thursdays, because I don't work on Thursdays.
right, so that's why this is addressing that.
So, no, this is saying they don't get a holiday on Thursday.
So what needs to be done is 3 and 4 need to be combined
Okay,
in some manner, in such a way that they get a floating holiday.
So,
based on their average
yeah, so
day.
number 4 refers to, and this will help, I think. Number 4, when we're not scheduled to be open, holidays, Monday holidays. Number 3, scheduled to be open, holidays, Thursday holidays. So they really need kind of say the same thing,
Well,
right?
but we're not gonna say Thursday, because,
I know that,
but what if in the
That's-
future somebody
yeah, but it helps us.
changes their schedule?
Say Thursday.
Yeah.
I think we need to think about that, because the way it is
No, we
right
won't
now,
say,
the
yeah.
way this reads on, if we could read it so that we could, with Thursday, the holiday falls on Thursday,
Or Saturday for that matter,
Yeah,
like there are.
yeah. right?
Well, I mean, in the
Saturday,
future, if it changes.
It's Saturday.
Is a Thursday.
Yeah, no, this.
The holiday falls
No, it's
Tuesday
like-
through Saturday.
No, that's what I'm just saying, if the holiday falls on a day when the library is
Regularly scheduled to
open,
be open,
But
yeah.
Patty,
but an employee is
Not.
not scheduled.
so this
Period.
would mean, this would mean we have one employee that would never get Thursday holidays. And I'm okay with that at all.
But-
They'll get,
But she gets Tuesday holidays when the other one's working Tuesdays.
Yes, I know that. I just want to make sure
no,
you
but we're saying that.
are okay
she's-
with what it says and everybody
Wait,
understands.
I think Donna is trying to make a point.
What I'm saying is we're saying that they will still get paid a floating holiday based on their average.
For the week, not
For
for
the
that
week.
day.
But it doesn't say that. It says pay for the.
Well, I'm writing
the
it in.
Yeah, my understanding, this is not going to be in a place where we can vote on it tonight.
No.
Like, these changes are gonna have to be incorporated and presented to the board in advance of the meeting to be
Right.
read in full.
Okay, so
Right,
what do
right.
we do for this next home? This a Monday till it's simple.
I think we haven't changed the policy, it needs to stay the way it is, right?
Right,
Yeah, we have
Like,
not
we
voted
haven't
on a new
voted on-
policy. That means we're still
Yes,
Right.
but
constrained by the old
The
policy.
old policy is they don't get Mondays.
But they have it a Tuesday, you're still closed. We
We
had
had
a
July is
No,
Saturday this
we
year.
already
On
voted
Memorial
to be
Day.
open on Tuesdays.
okay.
You already voted to be open on Tuesdays. You already voted on
We
the
hear you.
holiday schedule.
I
We know. Like,
Okay, I did want to
Heard.
make sure you understood.
yes,
Okay.
I don't know how we move forward for this.
I know, because we should not have voted to open on Tuesdays
I didn't think we
Until-
had.
until we,
No, we did
Finalize
actually have a
this.
vote on it.
yeah, because it was
You guys-
confusing.
I want to say it was in.
It was a February meeting.
I
Yeah.
think you guys thought there was plenty of time until the next
Yeah, we
time
did.
this would came up.
Well, and we voted on it before the Monday, February holiday, but it wasn't adopted for the Monday, February holiday. So it was in place, but it was ignored.
What we did on that one.
Well,
sort of,
why don't we just say that they get, I mean, right now we know they're gonna get, floating holiday.
The Mondays are easy. It's
Yeah,
the Wednesday
so-
problem.
Yeah.
For now,
Yeah.
we don't have a Thursday coming up.
So we'll need a motion on the floor to make a temporary, like a
Right.
one-time thing for for May while we figure this
Yeah.
out. Is that possible to do?
Yeah.
You guys know Robert's rules of order.
Not particularly
Yeah.
well, I've never actually read them.
We have a book upstairs. but
I know, I have a book at home. My mother made me.
I thought vice chair was easy. Like, that was gonna have to do.
Okay,
Just wait until your chair.
based on that, I would say then what we'll do is tell them that they're gonna get a floating holiday.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So how do we want to phrase the movement? Yeah, hard thing.
I motion that the upcoming Monday holiday be given to the employees as a floating holiday. Giving, how do I say that? Given as a floating holiday.
Yeah, sounds good. Second.
Okay, hate to open this up. Any discussion? All right, are we ready to vote on the motion on the floor, the upcoming Monday holiday, be given to the employees as a floating holiday?
Yes.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, that's passed. So there's that Band-Aid. So do you two from the policy committee feel that you are in a good place to combine these changes and have a policy written for us to vote on for the June meeting? Do you have anything else?
Yeah, you and I can do, you and I can. do
Yeah.
this.
We'll have to get together and.
Yeah.
Find it out.
It would be ideal to have it in advance of the meeting so we can.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Awesome.
Right,
Oh.
so Monday, the 16th, we'll send it to you. Huh?
What, so when is the next meeting?
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be the third,
third.
whatever that is. Third Tuesday in June.
Because I already know it's the.
Yeah, it's the 17th of June.
We'll try to send it.
Because I updated my
A little
Google
bit.
calendar, so I already knew the date.
Okay,
So it's the
So
17th.
what about the other two policies we went over? That you and Marilyn were gonna send copies out of that I don't think that ever happened?
Collection development and maybe volunteer policy. Were those, no?
No,
I don't even.
one was the policy for using the fund.
Hmm.
Oh, right.
The fun.
Yeah, you were gonna update the changes we put into that
And I didn't. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about it.
and then Marilyn was gonna update one of them and I forget which one it
Okay,
was.
I thought of that actually going, oh, I wrote that. It's in the meeting notes that it said, because it's like that we are. Yeah, whatever. I remember we went through it. It's probably in the meeting notes from last.
Yeah, this is the one I got stuck with.
Yeah.
Oh. However, when you finally get back to the full personnel, that was gonna be hard.
I know. Yeah, pay for floating holiday. Julie.
Okay, so we do not have the other two policies that we talked about to go over.
okay, great.
So I would say that means the policy committee is done.
Okay,
For now,
all right.
yes.
What is the next agenda item?
Any old business?
I don't have any.
Great. Any new business?
I don't have any.
There's no public for comments,
There is not.
so we need a motion on the floor to adjourn.
So moved.
A second.
I'm seconding it.
All right, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
The nays. Great, we're adjourned.
41.